What's good? You're watching Gian Talks Sports, the Daniel edition. The big news of the week so far is Jon Jones popped again for an illegal substance. You know, people are alleging I've heard it's a diuretic. I've also heard it's an actual steroid.
I've heard it's a boner pill. Well, that was
last time. So, my issue with that is like, last time you got popped, you said it was a boner pill. That excuse isn't going to work again. So now it's making me think like how long.
If it is the reason why, then you're an idiot for taking the boner pill again.
Like, are you that stupid, or are you just like, you just got caught? You're a cheater. Not saying, and I said this on Facebook too. Like, I don't know if the fight would have ended any differently.
I don't think it was.
So why do you need this stuff? But at the same time, the excuse to that is when John fought OSP, Ovin St. Preux.
He didn't look his best.
He looked terrible, and his body didn't look great either. So there's a possibility that he needs the gas, and he's been using the gas for a while, but he finally got caught. I'm not sure what's going on, man. But
it's a possibility. I mean, Rumble Johnson, he put a quote out there saying, "Yeah, he was a cheater. He's a cheater, but he probably would have still beat DC because he was setting up that head kick with the liver kicks and all the other lower body damage."
The only problem with that argument, though, is that that's fine, but his legacy's tainted. It's always going to be tainted. He's done. He's going to get suspended probably 4 years because I guess the way the rules are with USADA and the
it might be 2 because this is his first offense for this particular drug.
Right, but it's a second offense for having a performance enhancing.
Either way, it's not looking good.
No, it's
unless,
not.
Unless something comes out,
unless a miracle comes out where he can prove without a shadow of a doubt, that he had a tainted supplement or somebody set him up. I mean, they do the 2 blood samples. They test the first one and they test the second one.
Which the press conference where the guy who's with USADA and he's working with the UFC, he pretty much said they already tested both.
And he said it's like there's like a tiny, like a minuscule, like almost impossible percentage point that they're wrong. So I don't know what to say, man. I think he's done. I don't know what this does for DC's career.
Well, he's going to get the championship back.
He's going to get it back, but it's like
he's never won it.
The messed up thing about this is like this taints John's legacy, and it also like puts a shadow over DC's career
because he's never won the championship.
He's never won it, like fair and square. And now, like, it kind of goes back to, we didn't talk about it on the last podcast, but it goes back to the Antonio Margarito hand wrap incident with Miguel Cotto. He got caught with Shane Mosley, and now we'll never know if he had his hands, like, had wraps in his hands against Cotto and everyone else before him. Like, his entire legacy is done, and, he'll never be able to live that down, And unfortunately, I think the same thing's going to be happening to Jon Jones, and it sucks because he's a talented fighter.
He's great. He looked so great in that DC fight. It made me excited. Of like, he's only 30. He's going to have a lot of time.
I was excited for him to go up to heavyweight and test himself up there.
I wanted to see him fight Brock. Maybe he can fight Brock. Maybe motherfucker Jon Jones. You should go to Ryzen and like.
Maybe they'll go to Japan and do like a steroids or legal fight.
My final thought on this is, sorry, John, but. You lost a lot of fans. I don't think you're going to get them back this time, and it's just really unfortunate because you people stuck by you through all your bullshit, and you still fucked up. And honestly, I think you're a disgrace. Like even if it comes out with some extraordinary circumstance, you shouldn't have been fucking with any of that shit because you should have known better. I mean, that's just me. You can kick my ass all day long, but you know what? I have integrity. You don't.
It comes down to fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. You know what I mean? Like the second time around, you should know everything you're putting in your body at all times. You should not chance it because you already got popped once for something 100%. Stupid. Yep. So that's on you. And, I'm sorry I had to go down this way, but you done, son. The other hot news in sports this week is Kyrie Irving got traded to the Boston Celtics. And I don't know what you can say about that. I mean, I know he was demanding a trade. There's a bunch of rumors. The one that makes the most sense to me is that there was a trade made. There was a trade in place, and it was offered to LeBron. LeBron said, no, excuse me. Let me take that back. There was a trade offer put into Phoenix with Kyrie. Upper management asked LeBron if he was okay with it. And then when he said he was okay with it, Dan Gilbert, the owner, came in and said, well, I won't make the deal unless you sign an extension. So, of course, LeBron said no. He's not going to get strong-armed. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like everybody's thinking LeBron's going to the Lakers next year. And
I've never heard that, but that'd be cool.
Well, he has a home in L.A. He's been mentioning that L.A. is his home. So he lives here. When
Who would he push out?
And the Lakers?
Yeah.
No, nobody. I mean, the problem I see with him going to the Lakers, it might hinder the young guys' like growth.
Because they're not growing together; they're growing with LeBron.
Not so much, but because he's a ball first. He's a ball handler, so he dominates the ball. He's not the kind of guy that's just going to sit and wait for a shot to get open. He's going to control the offense. The offense is going to go through him, and because of that, that might stop the guys from growing. Because Lonzo Ball is also a predominant ball handler. He's a playmaker like LeBron. So it'd be interesting. We'll see what happens. But anyways, Kyrie's going to the Celtics. I think it doesn't completely shake up the Eastern Conference because LeBron is still that much better than everybody else. But it's interesting because Boston went out. They got the cat from Utah, Gordon Hayward. They got Jason Tatum with the 4th pick of the draft. They got Marcus Morris. I mean, their lineup looks completely different than the one that was in the Eastern Conference Finals. And they don't have a 5'8" point guard anymore as their best player. Kyrie can score. He's not the best defensively.
He's a good player, though.
Yeah,
you can't take that away from him.
He can finish. I mean, he can definitely finish. He's a good scorer. I don't know if he makes people around him better. We'll see what happens with that. But it makes things interesting. LeBron's a year older as well, and the Cavs just haven't got that much better. They got a first-round pick out of that. But Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, whatever. We'll see what happens, though. It's going to be an interesting season. I mean, the Warriors are still going to win the championship next year.
Right, and LeBron's still LeBron.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like basketball's not interesting as long as the Warriors are still in dynasty mode, which they will be for the foreseeable future.
What a jerk.
I'm just saying, last year was only interesting because it got interesting when? Game 4 or whenever, of the finals? I mean, seriously, with Kevin Durant, it's over. It's game over. It just is.
Well, as a Warrior fan, I love it.
Sure.
And then finally, the last bit of news from last week actually is the McGregor Mayweather fight. They are officially going with 8-ounce gloves.
Interesting to me.
It doesn't seem like a big deal, but the rules state anything over 147 pounds, you have to use 10-ounce gloves. So I think the reason why they did this was because, for one, they're having trouble selling tickets at the actual event itself. So they want to give Conor every advantage they can to make it seem like he has a chance to win, which Daniel completely believes that he does.
First round. Heard it here.
Second, I mean, Floyd doesn't normally fight over 147, so he's used to using 8-ounce gloves all the time. So it benefits him too. Floyd will never give you a blind advantage just to give you an advantage. MMA fighters, UFC fighters use 4-ounce gloves. So this is going to let Conor retain a little bit of his power. Which is something interesting. We should ask Garrity about it on the podcast. But what's that difference in padding? What does that do to your power?
That I have no.
Obviously, a bare fist is gonna feel. You can feel a bare fist more than you can a padded glove. But the other thing those gloves do is save your knuckles.
Well, that's something. Yeah, McGregor brought that up. He even said that Floyd has weak hands. No, what does he?
He's got brittle hands.
Brittle hands. Yeah, and Floyd. What if Floyd breaks his hands in those? And I'm just. You never know. Or something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Could be. Yeah.
And if he loses that offensive advantage, quote unquote, to be able to rack up those points, well, then maybe those points can go to McGregor if McGregor keeps that offense going.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the more the fight the closer we are to the fight, the more intrigued I am by it. I'm getting caught up in the hype. I'm listening to all the bullshit analysts talking about how McGregor has a shot or that McGregor doesn't have a shot. They're doing a good job of building up the fight. I still think it's going to be a snooze fest, personally.
Well, then one question, it's the only one I have. Better or worse fight than Pacquiao Mayweather? This one, in your heart of hearts.
That's tough, man, because that was a bad fight.
Exactly, that's how bad it was. So do you think this one will at least be better than that?
I think it could be. Remotely better.
Even if it's Floyd dominating?
If it's Floyd dominating, it's still going to suck. But,
If Floyd dominates Conor McGregor, do you feel like that affects his MMA?
No, it's different.
Even though Conor's been I'm the fucking greatest. I can do whatever I want.
I mean, he's going to say whatever he's going to say, but you got to remember, how he's been training. Conor's been fighting MMA for close to 10 years now. he's already used to certain movements. He's used to kicks. He's used to worrying about takedowns. It's just a movement thing more than anything, and not focusing like on a skill level. When all you do is punch, you're going to be really good at throwing punches and slipping punches. And that's going to be tough to overcome for Conor. Because he's never really
faced adversity from a stand-up striker.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it. But not to mention that, the one thing that Conor has going for him is that if he goes in unorthodox and treats it like an MMA fight, it might actually go to his advantage, at least the first few rounds. Because Floyd has never seen someone...
He can't download his pattern if he has no pattern.
No, exactly. And it's his stance. Like, if he goes in with a karate stance, Floyd has never seen a karate stance before.
Did you see what he did yesterday at not the weigh-in, but they did the final press conference or whatever. They stood him stand by side, face to face. No,
I didn't see that.
So they posed for the picture after, right? And Floyd's like a boxer, and fucking Conor even said like, I'm about to do some Bruce Lee shit, and he fucking literally went down like and did that to like if that's his stance for the fight, I'm really intrigued even more so now.
I mean, that also could set him up to eat some punches as well, though.
But I personally just don't feel like Floyd has the power to knock him out. So he might take a few punches so he can knock Floyd out.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I mean, there's also a chance that Floyd takes more risks than he normally does. I don't think he's going to do it because it's going to tarnish his legacy way too much. If he's going to lose to anybody, it's not going to be to an MMA fighter.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And if he does,
I see him. So my prediction, let's do final prediction. The fight's on Saturday. We're recording this on Thursday. Final prediction, I think it goes 12-round, unanimous decision, Floyd Mayweather, boring fight. People are going to be pissed off.
Landslide unanimous or just like barely enough to get the unanimous?
Like I said before, I think Conor's going to win 2 rounds. He's going to win 2 rounds.
Knockout in the first round, Conor McGregor. I'm going to stick by it. Even if I don't 100% agree with it, I'm going to stick by it because you just don't know. I think the first 4 rounds, like that Conor keeps saying, like are going to be the most explosive, and I kind of agree with that. I think once you get outside those rounds, then I feel like the boxing. Let me put it this way: once you exceed those like first 4 rounds, so basically once you leave the MMA like rounds, so like after round 5, 4, 5, whatever, then you kind of enter into Floyd's territory where he's just going to pick you up. That's where the better boxer will come out.
The more you show Floyd, the better he's going to get. So yeah, if Conor doesn't finish it quickly,
then that's when Floyd will just start boxing.
Unless Father Time decided to catch up to Floyd this fight, which is also a possibility too. He might not be able to fire the punches that he was able to before.
As long as this fight doesn't end in something stupid like Andrew predicted, where it's like
some sort of controversy.
Yeah, like an inadvertent elbow, and it was a complete accident, and everyone knew, but they stopped the fight, or like just some bullshit, or like. That would be bad. That'd be the worst for both sports because then you kind of know that the cash grab is coming and you're like, now we got to do the rematch.
And everybody's got ripped off. As long as people feel ripped off, that's like, we don't want that.
It's not going to happen because you won't repeat the success. Exactly. Now, if Conor knocks him out in the first round, you're guaranteed that rematch is going to be huge.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
But if he knocks him out in the first round, there won't be a rematch. So
I'm pretty sure there has to be a clause, like a clause in the contract.
It's always the thing where if somebody gets knocked on the first round, they never get a rematch. It's
not even Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, maybe Floyd, but who wants to watch that second fight?
Me. Okay. So we can get him knocked out again.
All right, well, that's fair.
49-2.
That's fine. Anyways, that's gonna do it, guys. Got a lot of older content for the sports stuff, so it's not really relevant. You can still check it out if you want to, but check out our reaction videos and other podcasts. We got a lot of stuff. We actually have a really great podcast with Garrity McOsker and Andrew Galvin about the Floyd. We go in deep.
Boxing and MMA in general.
Boxing and MMA in general. Real deep. It's a longer podcast. You should check it out. Hopefully it pops up on this link right here. Not sure how that shit works.
No, I'll put it there. I'll make sure it's there.
Okay, go check it out. Leave some reviews. Hit that bell. Hit that like button. Let us know what you think. Give some comments, and we'll see you next time.